Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Podcasts, your favorite place for slow, clear, and genuinely real English listening practice. I am Emma.
And I am Leo. And today we are doing something that I have been genuinely excited about since we first planned this episode.
Leo has been excited about this for 2 full weeks. He mentioned it approximately 47 times in planning meetings.
Because this episode is the most immediately useful episode we have ever made. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now, during the World Cup.
Today, we are teaching you everything you need to say when you are watching a football match with English-speaking friends.
Because here is the situation. You are sitting on a sofa. The match is on the television. Your friends speak English. The match is exciting. Something happens.
And you want to react. You want to shout and argue and celebrate and complain alongside everyone else, in English, naturally, without thinking.
That exact ability, reacting instantly and naturally in English during a live football match, is one of the most exciting milestones in any language learner's journey.
Because it means the language is no longer something you translate. It is something you feel, something that arrives in the right moment without searching for it.
Today, we give you all of it. Reactions to goals, reactions to near misses, arguing about referee decisions, halftime conversation, full-time discussion.
We are also going to role-play a full match experience from kickoff to full-time, so our listeners can hear exactly how this sounds in real life.
Emma is going to be supporting one team, I am going to be supporting the other, and things are going to get very competitive between us.
For the sake of authenticity and entertainment, Leo always supports the losing team in our role-plays.
That is completely false, and I will prove it during this episode. Let us start at the very beginning. Before kickoff, you arrive at your friend's house.
You walk in, the television is on, the pre-match analysis is playing. What do you say in English when you sit down for a big match?
The most natural opener between football fans before a match is asking about the lineup. Have you seen the team they've picked tonight?
Have you seen the lineup? That question immediately opens conversation. The lineup is the starting 11 players chosen by the manager.
And the reactions to the lineup are instant. They have left out their best striker. That is a big call. Or, I cannot believe he's starting tonight after that performance.
A big call means a significant and brave decision by the manager, something that might surprise people. Leaving out your most expensive player is a big call.
And then the predictions start. Who do you fancy tonight? To fancy someone means to believe they will win. Who do you fancy? Who do you think will win?
I fancy Germany tonight. Their midfield is too strong. Or, I think it could go either way. Very tight match. Difficult to call.
Difficult to call means the result is hard to predict. Both teams have similar chances. It is too close to call confidently.
And then one of the most classic pre-match English phrases. Right, here we go.
Here we go. The signal that everything that was talk and prediction is now real. The match is starting. Here we go.
It is one of the most genuinely exciting phrases in football English. Sit down, everyone. Here we go. The energy in the room changes with those 3 words.
Now the match begins, and immediately things start happening. Let us talk about the first major emotional category of watching football, the near miss.
Oh, the near miss. Perhaps the most intense feeling in all of football watching. The moment when a goal almost happens and then doesn't.
Your whole body prepares for the celebration. Your hands rise, your breath stops, and then the ball goes wide or hits the post or the goalkeeper saves it.
And the words that arrive in that moment are immediate and intense. Oh, so close. He has to score there. How did that not go in?
How did that not go in? That question is not really asking for an explanation. It is pure disbelief expressed as a question. How is that possible? How did that miss?
He has to score there. Has to, not should. Has to. The most natural English grammar for expressing that something was so easy it was essentially obligatory. He was right in front of goal. He has to score there. Every person watching knows it. The striker himself knows it. That ball should have gone in. In the longer version, I cannot believe he missed that. 3 simple words, but completely natural. I cannot believe it. The disbelief is real. Or the goalkeeper version. What a save. The goalkeeper denies them. What a save is the highest compliment you can give a goalkeeper in a single exclamation. What a save, said loudly, immediately, before you have even fully processed what you saw. What a save!
And then the analysis follows. He came from nowhere. The goalkeeper seemed to materialize in exactly the right position at exactly the right moment.
Came from nowhere. Such a vivid phrase. The goalkeeper was not obviously positioned there. They seemed to appear from nothing to make the save.
Or the post version. He hit the woodwork. The ball has struck the goalpost or the crossbar, the frame of the goal made of metal, but historically called the woodwork.
Hit the woodwork in English is also used outside football. If someone attempts something and almost succeeds, but just fails at the last moment, you can say they hit the woodwork.
He tried to get the promotion, but he hit the woodwork. He was so close. Everything lined up, and then it did not quite happen.
Now, let us move to the most important moment in any football viewing experience, the goal. Specifically, your team's goal.
Your team scores. The ball crosses the line. The net moves, and the room erupts.
Get in. That is the single most common English goal celebration shout. Get in, meaning the ball has gotten into the goal. 2 words, maximum energy.
Or simply, yes. 1 word, pure euphoria delivered at maximum volume. Yes.
Or the longer version that comes a second later once you have processed the goal. That is what I'm talking about, meaning this is exactly what I wanted and needed to see.
That is what I'm talking about, said with enormous emphasis and satisfaction. It has been building all match, and now finally the goal has arrived.
Or get in there. Slightly longer than get in. The there adds emphasis and location. The ball has gotten in there, into that goal, in that net.
And my personal favorite reaction when a beautiful goal happens. Unbelievable scenes. Scenes means remarkable events are occurring. What we are witnessing is beyond belief.
Unbelievable scenes has almost become ironic in modern football culture because it is used so often. But when said genuinely after a stunning goal, it still carries real power.
And when your team scores a particularly important or beautiful goal, you might hear, "Get in, you beauty." The beauty here refers to the goal itself, a beautiful goal.
Now the opposite. The opposition scores. Your team concedes. The room reacts with very different energy.
Oh no, the simplest and most universal reaction. Oh no, said quietly or loudly depending on how critical the goal is.
Or, I cannot watch. Not literally, you are still watching, but the pain of conceding is so sharp that you want to look away.
Or, how did we not clear that? Meaning your team should have defended better. The ball was in a dangerous position and your players did not remove it from danger.
Clear means to kick or head the ball away from danger near your own goal. How did we not clear that? We had time and players to deal with it. We should have defended better.
And when the conceded goal seems offside or illegal, that was offside. The attacker was in an illegal position when the ball was played.
Offside is one of the most argued about rules in football, and arguing about it during a match is one of the most natural football conversation experiences available.
Now, let us talk about arguing about referee decisions because this is where watching football with friends becomes genuinely animated and entertaining.
The referee makes a decision you disagree with. A foul is given or not given. A card is shown or not shown. A penalty is awarded or denied.
And the reactions are immediate. That was never a foul. Never. Absolute certainty. There was no foul there. That was not a foul by any definition.
That was never a foul has a particular emphasis in English. The word never does enormous work. Not that was not a foul. That was never a foul. More absolute, more emphatic.
Or the opposite when your team should have had a decision. How is that not a penalty? Said with genuine incredulity. The injustice is outrageous. How is this happening?
The referee is having a nightmare. A nightmare in football means a very bad performance full of errors. The referee is having a nightmare tonight means they are making many wrong decisions.
Or the classic, the referee is absolutely terrible. Absolute adverbs are very common in emotional football English. Absolutely terrible, completely useless, totally blind.
Blind in this context is not literal. It means unable to see what is obvious to everyone watching. How can the referee not see that? He must be blind.
And the dismissive commentary about a poor refereeing decision. He has bottled it. He was in a perfect position to give the penalty, and he bottled it. He was too afraid.
Bottled it in football means a person in authority failed to make the brave, obvious decision because of pressure or fear. The referee bottled the penalty.
Now, one of my favorite parts of any football viewing experience, the halftime conversation.
The whistle goes for halftime. Everyone relaxes slightly. Someone goes to make tea or coffee, and the analysis begins. What did you think of the first half? This question opens everything. It invites opinions, observations, predictions, criticisms. I thought we were the better team, but we did not create enough. Better team, but lacking quality in the final third. The final third means the attacking area of the pitch closest to the opponent's goal. We need to be more direct in the second half. Direct means playing the ball forward quickly, rather than passing sideways and backwards. More direct means more attacking intent. We need to get more bodies into the box. Bodies means players. Get more players into the penalty area for crosses and set pieces. Their left back is having a great game. We need to work on that side more, exploiting a weakness in the opposition that has been visible in the first half. Exploiting a weakness. Finding where the opponent is vulnerable and deliberately targeting that area with more attacks. Or the tactical suggestion from the sofa pundit. If I were the manager, I would bring on the striker at halftime and go more direct. Every fan becomes a manager at halftime. The sofa pundit, the armchair manager, someone who watches football from a sofa and has complete certainty about every tactical decision despite never having managed a professional team. We are all sofa pundits. It is part of the joy of football, the belief that from your position on the sofa, you can see things the highly paid managers somehow cannot. And at halftime, the score is important context for the conversation. If you are winning, the conversation is about holding on. If you are losing, it is about what needs to change. Come on, we can do this. When your team is losing at halftime, the encouragement, the belief that the second half can be different. Or when winning, do not switch off now. Warning your team through the television not to become complacent. Do not assume the lead is safe. Complacent means so comfortable with your advantage that you stop working as hard. Complacency is one of the great dangers for a winning team at halftime. Now the second half begins. More chances, more near misses, more decisions, more drama. And eventually, the match ends. The full time whistle. And depending on the result, the room responds very differently. When your team wins, what a result! Meaning the outcome is brilliant, or we deserved that. Our performance justified the result. Or the relieved version, just phew. When the winning was difficult and nerve-wracking and you are just relieved it is over with the right result. Is one of the most honest and natural English sounds, a breath of relief. We held on. We survived. And the post-match praise. What a performance. Or the boys were brilliant tonight. Or that was exactly what we needed. When both teams played extremely well in a close match. What a game. Or what a match. This is the neutral appreciation of two good teams producing something entertaining. What a game is genuine admiration for the quality of the contest. It transcends the result. Even if your team lost, you can say, what a game, if the match was truly excellent. And then the surprise result conversation. I did not see that coming, meaning the result was completely unexpected, a shock, an upset. I did not see that coming at all. Adding at all makes it even more absolute. Zero prediction that this would happen. Complete surprise from start to finish. Or I had a feeling about that one. The opposite. When someone claims they predicted the result, even if nobody can verify this claim. Everyone has a feeling about results in hindsight. Suddenly, everyone saw it coming after it happened. I had a feeling about that one. And when your team loses to a controversial decision, they were robbed. An extremely strong phrase. Not they were unlucky, they were robbed, as if something was stolen from them. Robbed carries genuine moral weight. It suggests injustice, unfairness at a serious level. We were robbed tonight. That referee cost us the match. And the gracious loser phrase. Fair play to them. Credit where it is due. They were better on the night. Accepting defeat while maintaining dignity. Fair play is one of the most important concepts in English sporting culture. Acknowledging good performance from an opponent even when it hurt you to lose to them. Now, let us do our full match role play. I am supporting Germany. Leo is supporting Japan.
The match is live. We are watching together. Right, here we go. Kickoff. Have you seen the German lineup tonight? They have picked their strongest team. This is serious. Japan are not afraid of Germany. Remember 2022? This could be very interesting. Oh, so close. That cross was inches away from being converted. Germany were so close right there. The Japanese goalkeeper came from nowhere for that save. What a save. He read it brilliantly.
Germany are dominating possession. Japan need to be careful here, or they are going to concede.
How is that not a foul? He clearly pushed the Japanese midfielder. The referee is having a nightmare already.
That was never a foul. The German player got the ball cleanly. Perfect challenge. Play on.
Get in! Japan have scored. Counterattack. Absolutely brilliant. I cannot believe it. 1-0 Japan.
Oh no, how did we not see that coming? We were too open at the back. We need to sort this out.
That is what I am talking about. Japan came here to win. Unbelievable scenes.
Halftime, 1-0 Japan. Leo, what did you think of the first half?
Honestly, Japan were brilliant on the counterattack, but Germany have had most of the ball. This is far from over.
Germany need to be more direct in the second half. Get the ball forward quickly. More bodies in the box.
If I were the Japanese manager, I would keep the shape tight and hit them on the break again. Defend deep and be dangerous on the counter.
Germany pull one back. Yes, get in there. 1-1, the equalizer. Germany are back in this.
Phew, I thought Germany might never score, but 1-1 with 30 minutes left, Japan can still win this.
He hit the woodwork. Germany so close to the second goal. The post denied them.
How did that not go in? It took a wicked deflection off the post. Germany are going to be so frustrated.
Full time, 1-1. What a match, Leo. You have to admit, that was brilliant entertainment.
Unbelievable game. I did not see a draw coming, but fair play to both teams. What a performance from Japan against one of the best sides in the world.
Germany were the better team overall, but Japan showed incredible character. Credit where it is due. Japan deserved their point tonight.
That was exactly what we needed to demonstrate today. Every phrase in its natural home inside a real match experience.
Let us do our vocabulary review so our listeners can take everything away clearly and use it immediately watching their next match.
Pre-match phrases. Have you seen the lineup? Who do you fancy tonight? Difficult to call. Right, here we go. I fancy them tonight.
Near-miss phrases. Oh, so close. He has to score there. How did that not go in? Came from nowhere. What a save. He hit the woodwork. I cannot believe he missed that. Goal celebration phrases. Get in. Yes, that is what I am talking about. Get in there. Unbelievable scenes. Get in, you beauty. Conceding phrases. Oh no, I cannot watch. How did we not clear that? That was offside. Referee argument phrases. That was never a foul. How is that not a penalty? The referee is having a nightmare. He bottled it. The referee is absolutely terrible. Halftime phrases. What did you think of the first half? We need to be more direct. Get more bodies in the box. If I were the manager, come on, we can do this. Do not switch off now.
Full-time phrases. What a result. We deserved that. Phew, what a game. I did not see that coming. They were robbed. Fair play to them. Credit where it is due.
Subscribe to English with Podcasts and share this episode with every friend you are planning to watch the next World Cup match with tonight. Tell us in the comments which phrase from today you are going to use first watching the next match. We read every single one. Goodbye, everyone, and enjoy every match. Goodbye, everyone. Now go and use every single one of these phrases watching the next game.